I'm going to use this net with this shape.
And what shape is that?
A triangular pyramid.
Yeah, because it has one
I'm going to
base.
use this net with this shape.
What shape is that?
It's a triangular prism. I'm going to use this net with this shape.
And what shape is that?
It's a hexagonal prism.
Because it has two hexagons. So there's two bases, it's a prism. Good job.
I'm going to use this net with this shape.
And what shape is that?
A cylinder. This net with this shape.
What shape is that?
It's a square-based pyramid.
It has a square as a base, and it all comes to a point, like a pyramid.
This net with this shape.
And what shape is that?
Rectangular prism.
Good.
I'm going to do this net with this shape.
And what shape is that?
A cone. I'm going to do this net with this shape.
And what shape is that?
A cube.
Okay, we need to go through a few definitions here. The surface that a solid object stands on, the top and or bottom of an object, is considered the base. Where two faces meet on an object is known as the edge. Where three or more edges meet is known as the vertex. A flat surface of an object is known as the face. A shape having three or more sides is known as a polygon. A polygon with all sides and angles equal, square, pentagon, etc., is known as a regular polygon. A diagram that shows all the faces of an object and that can be folded to make an object is known as a net. We'll be doing some of those. A 3D object with faces that are polygons is called a polyhedron. An object with two congruent bases, a prism, is named based on the shape of its base. So this is an object with two congruent bases. It's known as a prism. And notice it has, a prism is named based on the shape of its base. So a square prism, cubed. You can have triangular prisms, which have triangles as the base. When all faces, other than the bases, are rectangles and perpendicular to the bases, this is known as a right prism. A prism with regular polygons as bases is known as a regular prism. A pyramid with a regular polygon as its base, the other faces are triangles, would be a regular pyramid. Note on this page, here's a right cylinder and its net. The line joining the centers of the circular bases is perpendicular to the bases. So the two congruent circles are on the opposite sides of the rectangle, and the curved surface of the object is not a face. It's not considered a face, but notice the curved surface turns into a rectangle, yes. Which one of these diagrams is the net for this right square prism? Notice this has a square, so it'd be 5 by 5. This is 7. This one right here would be for a cube, so they would all be 5. So this cannot be it. This one is all rectangles, and we notice this one is a square, so we know this one can't be it. So we notice this one has two bases that are squares, and then 4 rectangles, because we have the top, the bottom, the left, and the right. So that is the right square prism. That is the net for it. This first shape here has a square base, only one base though, so this would be considered a pyramid. So we'd have the square base, and we'd all go up to one point and create a square-based pyramid. This one, however, has 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. So this would be a prism because we've got 2 triangular faces, and this would be considered a triangular prism. So square base pyramid, only one base, all goes up to a point. Triangular prism, 2 triangles, and then the rest are rectangles. The next question has a triangular prism, so 2 triangles, and it would be 3 rectangles, and we're supposed to draw a net of this particular triangle. I have already created this net. Notice the 7 base becomes right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it is for all 3 of the rectangles. Then we've got, I started with this, the 5 centimeters right here. So I put 5 centimeters here. Notice these two have to match. So there's 5 centimeters here. That means this has to be 5 centimeters. And if there's 5 centimeters here, this has to be 5 centimeters. Okay, the base on here was 3 centimeters, so I connected that both to these right triangles here. So even if we did Pythagorean theorem, we know that 3, 4, 5 is a Pythagorean triple, and that would be 5 if this is 3 and 4. So we've done a 3 centimeters here to show the bottom of that triangle. And notice the other side is 4 centimeters. So notice this side has to be 4 centimeters as well, and both these. So they have to match here because they're going to fold up into creating this triangle here. We are supposed to construct a net of this right rectangular prism now. Notice the top and the bottom will be squares because they're both 4 by 4, but then we've got 4 by 5 all the way around for the rectangles. So I have created one already. If you notice, these are the 2 squares right here, which would be the 4 by 4, 4 by 4. And then the rest of the 4 rectangles are each going to be 4 by 5, 4 by 5, 4 by 5, 4 by 5. And that's the net for that rectangular prism.